Outlaw Country by Ghotty. It's Chapter 6, Slow Moving Outlaw. It was the next day, and I was clean and wearing the most comfortable clothes I'd ever worn. I even had some smokes, as the Charia could make paper from trees, and I had collected some good amount of wild tobacco on my way here. This was odd, frankly, as the forest was somewhere between boreal and temperate forest, and tobacco is native to a more southern climate. It's an alien planet, though, so I just shrugged it off. I blew a ring of smoke as I leaned against the sleeping Jeff, laying on his side in an external workshop-turned-barn. Apparently, the Charia had workshops like those of all kinds of purposes, avoiding carbon monoxide poisoning. If invisible air could kill you before you could even see it coming, it makes me worry about what kind of weapons these high-tech aliens could make with their right resources. Luckily, they're on my side. Also, luckily, they were extremely talented tailors in town. His skills were irreplaceable. Even the entire workshop was designed to facilitate the fact that he had arms like a roach, though far more dexterous. Watching him knit and stitch was an impressive sight, as it was disturbing. It had only been a day since I joined the little community, but he had already made me an entire damn outfit. I was wearing a nice-looking set of clothes, brown pants, white shirt, new brown jacket and vest combo, which was an abundance of eternal pockets and for storing my various knickknacks. He even fixed my boots, polishing the stirrups and cleaned the reinforcing in my holsters and bandoliers. The man had even made me a new hat in the image of my old one, brown, stains and bullet holes to boot. He would be the first one to save in the event of an attack. So there I was, blowing smoke, hands on lap, relaxing more than I had in a long time. As much as I can enjoy the wilds, it's nice to have some real safety in the form of walls and some other people around, to have luxuries like soap and smokes. Everything in moderation, I suppose. I felt a shadow looming over me, and I sighed. "Can I help you?" I asked, not bothering to move my hat out of my eyes. "Uncle Blas asked me to show you to his workshop. And I quote, 'Bring your cute little toys.'" I had been looking forward to this. Too bad the news was delivered by quite possibly the most annoying creature I've ever met. The voice belonged to Lilia. She has made it her mission to hound the ever-loving hell out of me, begging me to teach her how to shoot. I had barely managed to escape, and it seemed that Mr. Blas ratted my ass out. I suspect the townsfolk enjoy my suffering via teenage girl. Maybe they were happy to see her energetic, or maybe it was just schadenfreude. "I know the way, girlie. I don't need an escort," I growled and tried to scare her off. I knew it wouldn't work. "Stop bitching and get up," she said, yanking me out of my comfortable position and waking up Jeff in the process. "God damn it, girl, take your hands off me," I said, flailing and trying to untangle myself from her many limbs. Laughed Jeff after shaking off his grogginess. "Getting manhandled by a teenage girl half your age again. Leave your man card at the door, please." Lilia laughed too. They got along swimmingly. Of course they did. I thought about some of the inbred morons I knew, and what felt like so long ago. I wondered how they would feel getting tossed around by a girl, one with a very different physical trait. I smirked a bit, and Jeff caught it on. Fortunately, oh wow, all the jokes I've told. This is the one place that makes you smile. I'm sorry, buddy, but I'm just not sadistic enough to keep up with your misogynistic tendencies. Please keep the whip where I can see it. It's a lasso, and that wasn't your joke I found funny. It was more of a spiteful grimace and less of a smile, but whatever. "If you two are done being stupid, then come on, Buck," yelled Lilia. As to why she was yelling, I did not understand, and I did not like it. I don't like teenagers, and I don't like people who interrupt my naps, and I really don't like loud people. I did not like this child one bit. She dragged me through the streets, though not in the way that I was used to. A few of the locals looked up from whatever tasks they were assigned to do and gave me knowing looks, and they went right on back to it. Bastards. Although, to be fair, I wouldn't want to get in between the spoiled brat with her ridiculous strength and whatever it was that was tickling her fancy. We found ourselves in Blaz's workshop. It was sizable, like a two-story building with one room. There were forges, anvils, hammers, and a boatload of other things. I couldn't identify any of it, and the only common theme was steel. It smelled of sweat and fire and was uncomfortably hot. Blaz himself didn't fit my stereotype of a gunmaker. I pictured them as a mustache-twirling, skinny, too-rich-for-their-own-good man. Blaz didn't fit that description. Didn't fit the description of a human being or even a bipedal creature either, so I guess it didn't matter all that much. Blaz essentially looked like a fat bastard on spider legs. He moved around his workshop quickly, his legs going over and about objects, his body moved straight forward and towards us in an unnervingly straight line. His apron covered his bulbous torso, and he left his pitch-black, thick arms exposed, and they were covered and tightened with scorch marks. His face was round and very inhuman as far as any spectrum between insect and human goes. Mr. Blast leaned hard on the former. Young buck, finally. Come. Show me your weapons. That was far from young, but I couldn't exactly pin his age, so I just let it lie. I reached over, squashing my revulsion with extreme force, and handed him my Colt and shotgun. Careful, it's loaded. He took them with blackened arms, looking them over, fiddling with every aspect of them. He gave me a pointed look. You still have one more, don't you? Yep. Can I see it? No. He stared at me for a moment and saw that I wasn't going to budge and shrugged. Your loss. Things look ancient. It is. It has sentimental value for me. He shrugged again, and I noticed that these people just do that a lot. I gave the Colt one last look over and then proceeded to start shooting a target at the opposite end of the room. Which hurt. A lot. Because we were in a goddamn indoors and the building was made out of pure metal, and it covered my ears in pain in a desperate bid to make the ringing stop, as did Lilia. Stop, I yelled, barely able to hear myself. When he did stop, but only for a moment because he ran out of ammo. The ringing was allegedly starting to wear off. It wasn't near as bad as it should have been. Must have been in the effect of the status screen. Blaz was frowning, shaking his head disapprovingly. How primitive these damn things are. I can't believe you were so much more effective than us with these puny weapons. It's shameful. I could barely hear him. He didn't have the decency to speak up. Why didn't it affect him anyway? Yeah, stupid question. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have ears. Here, he said, try this. He handed me a large rifle. Pretty damn sure it was a rifle. It had a barrel and a trigger, but it was thicker than any rifle I'd ever seen, being almost 3 times the width of my forearm and looking like it packed a hell of a punch. This beauty is far more firepower than any gun you've ever seen, so be ready to fight the recoil. Also, it's full auto. Full auto. He sighed. You hold down the trigger and it keeps shooting. Sounds like a pain in the ass, but I'll give it a shot. One thing, though. Can we take this outside? We were just outside the walls in a makeshift shooting range. There were wooden targets, at any distance from 5 feet to 200 yards, in a variety of sizes and shapes. Lilia watched excitedly, and Blaz inquisitively, as I inspected the rifle, getting a feel for its heft. I'm glad I'm stronger than I used to be, because this girl was chunky. I shouldered it, aimed, and fired. The resulting report sounded less like a damp explosion and more like something in the air just cracked. It kicked like an angry mule, and as far as I have never used an automatic, I made a rookie mistake of holding down the trigger. The damn thing spewed bullets like a hose, sending the barrel flying into the air, planting my ass on the ground, and the first 2 shots ripped through the wooden post like a cannon, and the rest probably killed some birds a few miles from there. "Ha ha! Nice gunslinging, buckaroo," laughed Jeff, as he joined us just in time to watch my embarrassing display. Careful there. I can't control this thing worth a damn. Might just hit the barn-sized target, I yelled back. He laughed harder, and Lilia was giggling, though Blaz was all business. That rifle is standard issue for our military, but our military is genetically engineered to be incredibly big and strong, so fair's fair. Then why give it to me unless it's a hunk of junk? I yelled, rubbing my shoulder. I admit I was embarrassed. Shooting was about the one thing I was good at, and I didn't make a very good showing of this at all. I'll show you real firepower. Do you like it? I took another look at the formerly wooden target, and it was just splinters now. If I had this gun, I could have shredded the armored monster without having to worry about weakening it first, assuming I could hit it. I sighed. I feel bad for being so far behind the knowledge and technology department, but at least now I know how to hunt. So nah. I took to my feet, brushing the grass off my pants. I like the firepower, just not so much the gun itself. Blaz skittered over to me at a speed that was unsettling. Good enough. You've got the skills, so with the right guns, well, you can be a damn killing machine. But I'm already a damn killing machine. Blaz took the rifle back from me and slung it across his back. He looked me over for a moment pensively. Can you hold my hand? I'm not looking for that kind of relationship, I deadpanned immediately. Damn, Jeff was seriously rubbing off on me. Blaz rolled his eyes. Jeff snorted. Better settle while you still can. Not many chances with that face, he said. I have a skill that allows me to sense your compatibility with certain weapons, explained Blaz. You sound like a fortune teller. You gonna read my palms? Shut the fuck up and touch me. Jeff whistled. How the hell does he do that without lips? I shut the fuck up and touched him. Touching palms. Blaz looked pensive for a moment, staring at our palms, and then looked at me. Do you have a skill for single-action weapons? I like to think I'm pretty skilled with single-action weapons. Blaz was starting to look genuinely annoyed. By class, don't you think you have enough jokes? I'm confused. That wasn't a joke. You just asked me if I'm skilled with single-action weapons, right? Now Blaz looked just as confused as I was before recognition dawned on him. All right, Edmundo mentioned this. Skills in this particular context refer to the skills on your status page, which you can't read, so I guess we're just going to have to go with yes. I shrugged. Did I always shrug this much, or was I picking up body language here already? Yes, sounds fine. He nodded to himself. All right, I think we're going to enjoy what I have for you tomorrow. I smiled. What can I say? Getting new guns is one of my favorite things to do. Tomorrow I'll take a posse of the city slickers into the forest full of alien creatures in order to learn how to survive. I'm obviously going to need them.